So this video is well, I've updated my avatar again. I now have freckles, which is cool. Well, and more tattoos and even some more face paint. Don't know if you can see that, but really, th- this also marks an important day. See, the important part of this is we now have an avatar software for VRM stuff that isn't exactly it's a new thing. We're switching uh want to switch, shall I say, to VC from VC face to VNIAN. The problem is VNIAN handles motion a little wonky. It's a little too sensitive, and so what it ends up doing is, the eyebrows are the blinking is less sensitive. The same cannot be said for the other stuff, as in the neck moves too well, and when you try to do its hand tracking, well, the wheels fall off there. And as you can tell, it's a bad thing. I don't even know if this is, a good thing or not, but well, and the other problem is that the mouse is like you can't really smile properly in it. Also, sure, my glasses cause trouble with this, but or do I blink a lot? I don't know. What I do know, however, is that it's not current, and I also added a few other cosmetic items. Nothing too crazy. It was interesting. With that being said, it is 3 in the morning, but honestly, my OCD has gotten worse these days, and I don't really have a healthy way of expressing it. But and it is kind of bad, but really, yeah, it's not something good to have. And of course, I added a pin, but really, and yeah, I don't know if you'll see the paint, but it has some Christmassy stuff to it, which is nice and all, but I will probably be more free to do this ish in a month. But honestly, it's a mess. There's a lot that could be said about my situation, and unfortunately, it's not exactly something you can have a measured response to. The less said about that, the better. Especially in the future. Honestly, though, what I find kind of unfortunate is that, YouTube, I don't know if my mic is exactly working right, but, well, I mean, it is what it is, and that's unfortunately a problem. And, well, I don't know how long this whole thing can go, but I mean, it seems like I've just had, issue after issue. And God, I'm hoping my consonants don't mess up today. But really, hmm, it's just complete circus, honestly. And I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. I know this is kind of just whack, but really, what choice do I have? Hopefully, V9 takes the bug fixes into account, but I don't know how that's gonna go, unfortunately. And like, it's kind of, you know, just a mess. And I honestly don't know how to go about like fixing this. I mean, I mean, in general, you want something that's responsive, but you don't want it to be too jittery and sensitive, otherwise you get this. Otherwise, you get the eyebrow problems you're seeing here. Well, no, you're getting this issue with blinks. I mean, I could do auto blink, but do I really want to do that? No. I can sort of wink. But really, the problem with this is that I don't have much options, and unfortunately, it's a problem to which a solution may not be in the cards. At least the question becomes whether or not I should. As for other things, typography related, Unifont EX, its development is parked until, September, no earlier than September 9th, because at that point is when I can actually, do something useful. And but even then, it still won't be done. That goes to 2027 is by the time it'll be done. At least depending on how certain things shake out. But really, I don't exactly have an easy answer here. And well, you know, it's funny because and my cat ears jiggle. But really, what I find kind of unfortunate is that I've had my VTuber software. I mean, it's not a live 3D. I think 3D is inherently better, especially when you can trick it out like I've done. The problem with that, though, is that you kind of have to deal with a ton of problems, and finding one that'll work. Though I do plan on eventually converting this model into a player model for something like Gary's mod or whatever. Unfortunately, doing that isn't exactly easy. Yes, this avatar has been like more realistic. It's nice and all, and don't expect me to do a face reveal like ever. I good old operational security and all that. I mean, it is part of my training, so of course it has to be done that way. Now, I hate when moving angles kind of fools the camera. I mean, every single part of this is like ridiculous. Honestly, though, I do feel like I'm leaking a lot, but well, who knows? Oh well, it's not exactly the most ideal situation, but well, what can I do about it? The answer is nothing. Unless I can get the developers to fix their thing, and honestly, V9N might be better. Though it doesn't support OSC for VR chat, so make of that what you will. I still have to use this. I have to have both programs on my computer. Mm. Now the question is, and I have a Twitch. I have Twitch. The problem is, well, a lot of things really, but well, I think that should say a lot about that. I mean, maybe my eyes are blinking a lot. I guess I don't know. Is that anything? I mean, who knows? With that out of the way, I'd say that it's all the time we have for her right now. I might come back online a bit later, but certainly not for too long, anyways, because honestly, I mean, so this could be a farewell to VC Face, or it may not be. But if it is, you might things might look a little different while I adjust to the new software. Of course, I might always come running back if the issues do not get fixed. And, well, some things can be lived with, others cannot be. And, it is not my finest. Well, jeez. Well, I hate having to move my laptop this far back, but there ain't a lot more. Oh, it doesn't even. Okay, now that's a bit sketchy right there. Yeah, no way. Well, I'll need to figure out how to unbreak this stuff while I go and deal with all this. But really, I'm hoping that I can do all sorts of cool stuff. And, you know, I'd happily join your podcast if you have one. I have a lot of stories. Far too many stories, in fact. Like a lot of stories. But most of them tend to have something to do with tech. Or, people behind it, for better or for worse. I wish this wasn't the case, but, you know, we all have to take what we can get and all that, if that makes any sense. Let's see what real tech has to say about my. What is this doing? Okay, that's not good. Well, oh, is it really? Okay. Let's see if that was. Okay. So was being. Oh no. Well, I got that issue fixed, so hopefully the audio on stream's a lot better than it was. So if it isn't, well, that would be really bad, and honestly, that's kind of unfortunate. Well, is it? Heck. Honestly, if this audio, who knows? But anyways, like this whole thing is just a complete. I mean, eventually, I want to do some sort of measured response to some stuff, but a lot more measured, if that makes any sense. What is that doing there? Oh, nothing to worry about. Well, that is nice to know. However, why on earth is YouTube not behaving well? Well, the mic. My mic quality is, and I taking measures to mitigate its problems, but if that doesn't work, well, mm, not my problem, to say the least of it. Perhaps I need more sensitive mic. Perhaps I need all sorts of things. Let's see if I can fix this through the control panel. Okay, that's not exactly. Why is my mic being okay? So it is picking up. YouTube just isn't happily playing along with it. If that makes any sense, I guess. Let's see what volume mixer does. Okay, that still isn't. Well, um, that's still not exactly a good thing. Hang on. I mean, how do I explain this? It's kind of a mess. Well, well, why is it at one? I don't know. But really, let's see how this all shakes out. So that's about all the time I have for right now. So let's go and see how this goes. With that being said, this is the end of the test stream for now, and the beginning of the end for VC Face in my channel. So let's go see how this goes. Stay safe, folks. Enjoy.